Have you ever worked with a leader who was physically present, but emotionally miles away? They were in the room, but not really there. Now flip that. Imagine a leader who walks in and suddenly everyone feels seen, heard, grounded. Like, yes, we've got this. That's the power of mindful leadership, and it's exactly what the modern world is craving. Introduction: the rise of mindful leadership. What if the most powerful leadership skill of our time wasn't found in strategy decks or MBA textbooks, but in the silence between thoughts? We're living in an era that's rewriting the rules of leadership in real time. Gone are the days when authority came from titles, status, or a booming voice in a boardroom. Today's world demands something more human, more grounded, more aware. Think about it. We've just walked through a global pandemic, economic instability, mass resignations, digital burnout, and we're still carrying the weight. In this world of high-speed everything, people aren't just craving better decisions. They're craving better leaders. And that's where mindful leadership steps in, not as a buzzword, but as a paradigm shift. It's not about slowing down to be passive. It's about slowing down to become deliberate, to see clearly, to respond instead of react, to build cultures that don't just survive change, but thrive in it. Mindful leadership isn't a trend, it's the future. And the future starts in the now. The power of presence in leadership, picture this. A leader walks into a high-stakes meeting. Tensions are high. Uncertainty thickens the air. People are fidgeting, holding back. Now, this leader doesn't bark orders, doesn't dominate the room. Instead, they pause, they breathe, they listen. Suddenly, the energy shifts. People sit up straighter. Ideas begin to flow. The fear? It eases. And why? Because that leader brought something rare to the table: presence. Presence is the invisible currency of trust. When you're truly there, not distracted, not mentally rehearsing your next sentence, but deeply attuned to the moment, people feel it. And they respond in kind. Mindful leaders develop the muscle of self-awareness. They recognize their own triggers, emotions, and mental chatter, and in doing so, they stop projecting those patterns onto their teams. They create a kind of emotional spaciousness where real dialogue can happen, where others feel heard, not just managed, but met. This isn't softness, it's strength refined. The kind of strength that listens more than it speaks. That leads with clarity, not control. That holds the room without having to own it. And in today's complex landscape, that's not just nice to have, it's essential. Mindful communication techniques. Let's be honest, most communication today feels like a constant scroll. Fast, reactive, fragmented. Messages sent before they're thought through. Meetings held without true meaning. And somewhere in that digital haze, we forget the most important element of leadership: connection. Mindful leaders communicate differently. They're not just trying to be heard. They're trying to understand. They lean into the pause. They listen, not just to the words, but to the silence behind the words. And when they speak, they do so with intention, with presence, with purpose. Imagine a team member who's struggling. A mindful leader doesn't rush to fix or fill the silence with a motivational quote. They offer their presence, a steady breath, eye contact, an open posture. And suddenly that person feels seen, not judged, not managed, just seen. This is what mindful communication unlocks: trust. It's not about being a perfect speaker, it's about being an authentic one. It's about understanding that tone of voice, timing, facial expressions, and even energy communicate just as much, if not more, than the words themselves. When leaders communicate from a mindful place, conversations become more than transactions. They become transformations, a source of alignment, of clarity, of shared purpose. Benefits of mindful leadership. Now, let's get to the heart of it. Why does this really matter? Because when leaders show up mindfully, everything changes. Studies have shown that teams led by mindful leaders experience higher engagement, stronger morale, and better collaboration. Why? Because they feel safe, heard, valued. When psychological safety is present, innovation comes alive. People take smart risks. They speak up. They challenge assumptions, not because they want to be right, but because they want to contribute. And that right there is the soil where creativity grows. Think about the companies where burnout is the norm. Now picture the opposite, a culture where mindfulness is built into the rhythm, where people are encouraged to pause, to breathe, to reflect, to be. This isn't about slowing down for the sake of it. It's about slowing down to speed up with clarity. It's about leaders modeling the kind of presence that turns stress into strength and tension into trust. And the result? A workplace that doesn't just perform, it thrives. Call to action, cultivating mindful leaderships. How do you become that kind of leader? You don't have to retreat to a mountain temple or spend hours in stillness to be a mindful leader. It starts with something far simpler, something available right now in this breath. Try this. Before your next meeting, pause for just 30 seconds. Feel your feet on the ground. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your mouth. Bring yourself into the moment. You've just taken your first step into mindful leadership. It's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about showing up intentionally. Leading not from autopilot, but from awareness. Maybe that means starting your day with 5 minutes of journaling to set a clear intention. Maybe it's choosing to listen more and talk less in your next conversation. Maybe it's carving out quiet moments to reflect, recharge, and reconnect with your values. Because when you lead from presence, you don't just lead with authority, you lead with authenticity. And people follow not because they have to, but because they want to. Remember, your presence is your greatest leadership tool. Your ability to be fully here, fully human, fully you, that's what inspires trust, builds culture, and transforms teams. So start today. Take one small mindful action, then another, and another. Because the ripple effect is real, and the future of leadership, it doesn't start with strategy. It starts with presence. Breathe in, breathe out. Let's lead the change together.